Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with my Sunday's Art of Truth for Sunday, March the 5th. I am doing something very different today. Usually my Sunday's Art of Truth is mixed media, but I am trying something new. I'm trying to break out of my box of predictability, and I'm going to do more of a paper crafting type of project. So we're going to be making a little shadow box assemblage here. It is a new series that I'm doing called Beloved Beauties, and it's all about truth. It's all about the truth about who we are, how we see ourselves, how we can think about changing how we see ourselves or how we talk to ourselves or any of those things. I don't know about you guys, but I have times when I talk crap to myself. Like, I can't even believe the things that I say to myself when I'm frustrated, when I can't get my pants buttoned, or I can't, I feel short and squatty and ugly and because I'm unhealthy and I'm not taking good care of my body. And so I allow that negative self-talk to actually drive my mood and my attitude and things like that. So I am going to be moving through this series for me, but hoping that it will also benefit you, because I think we all struggle with it, especially as women. We have such a society that says that we're to look like a certain way, we're supposed to act a certain way, we're supposed to have it all together, we're supposed to be great moms and great wives, and we're just supposed to have all of our ducks in a row. And when we don't have our ducks in a row, or we feel off, or we're unwell, it affects our whole attitude towards ourselves. So again, this is going to be called Beloved Beauties series, and I'll be in each project I'll be featuring an image of a vintage girl. Now, just because vintage girls are just very beautiful, that's why I'm using them. And I'm going to be doing some collaging, paper collaging, adding some textiles, as you can see here. We'll talk about what I have here, way more than I need, but I want to show you kind of how I select things. And so this one's called She Decided to Be Herself. And again, I'll be talking about that, or be writing about that in my Sunday's Art of Truth over on the blog. And the link to the blog can be found in the video description box if you want to check that out. Because I put a lot of thought and a lot of prayer and a lot of that. I put a lot of introspective work into selecting my project and into selecting the quotes or the words that I'm going to use. Now, this is inspired actually by a dear friend, an artist friend of mine named Lonnie Kent, and she is with Healing Expressions Art. And she recently did a workshop. I've been taking her workshops for years. She's phenomenal. And we did what she called a soul house. And she got these at the Dollar Tree. And so for $1.25, you get this frame, which I'll show you here in a moment when I unload all the stuff. But it just really inspired me to use these. I got some more for her, but then I also got some for me as I found them at a later trip. So I decided I was going to go ahead and use them, and maybe I'll sell them at a bazaar or give them away. I don't know. But the idea that she presented was that our souls are a house, and basically what I took away from that was that what we put into our house, what we put into ourselves, into our person, into our heart, into our mind, is kind of how we conduct our house. That's kind of how I took it. And so our souls, taking care of our souls and our hearts, is so very important to being the people that we need to be. Not that we need to be for other people, that we need to be for ourselves, to be joyful, to be grateful, to be happy, to be successful in whatever framework we put that in. So without further ado, I'm going to get going. I don't think I'll need to do a voiceover because this is going to be pretty easy, but I will probably speed up parts that are redundant, like gluing and stuff like that, because I don't want to keep you here unnecessarily. So this is the top layer. This top layer here is just all the textiles and some ephemera bits. So I'm just going to set that over there. And then also this. So I already did play with my base. And to be honest, completely honest, I really struggled because, again, I'm used to doing mixed media. That's what I do. That's where my heart goes. That's what heals me. But I thought, you know, this is a much more simple art, and it's something that you guys can do. These paper are all scraps from my scrap basket, except the image of the girl. Look at this precious girl. And I will link the shop where I got this because she's absolutely gorgeous. And she just spoke, I know who I am. I know that I'm beautiful. I know that I'm worthy. I know that I am okay. And I'm going to be myself. So, she's my inspiration. So I'm going to set that aside. And I did take a photo on my phone just so I don't get all wonky here. But I've got all these layers that are going to go under this. So I'm just going to set that over there. And I'm going to use my tweezers to pull this out. My house shape here did get cut a little bit crooked. It's not glued in yet. But that's okay. Again, perfection is not at play in the studio. This is a piece of my own. It's a copy of a coffee dyed paper that I made, and so I coffee dye and then I come in with a stencil and gold ink and such. So that's what we get. So I just thought this would be a pretty background. But before we get to that, we need to cover the outside of this frame. So I picked this washi tape, but I just noticed it is really not big enough. It's not wide enough. So I'm going to pull over my washi tape bin here and just kind of see what we've got. I don't want it to be too wide because then, you know, that's no fun. This would be kind of cool. This would be very pretty, actually, because pinks, I'm going for pinks. This would be a great one. So if you're going to follow this at all, you do want to make sure you glue this first. You don't trust the washi tape to stick. So we're going to go around all these edges, and then we're also going to go around the interior here. So what I did in the workshop is I didn't. This is exactly the width. So I will have to figure that out. Let me make sure there's not anything else that I'm just dying to use in here. I also thought this would be a great way to use my washi tapes because I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at getting these out. I've moved them to where I can see them. The gold would be gorgeous too. Oh my gosh. What do you guys think of the gold? The gold washi? I don't know. I'm going to leave that one out. So anyway, without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop in. This is supposed to be simple and not complicated. So I am going to go ahead and just speed up this part. I'm not going to cut it out, but I'm going to speed it up so you guys don't have to watch the painstaking process of me getting this all this tape in here. It's not fun. This is the hard part. But this is the frame that I got. Again, got it from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So I picked up, I think I got 5 of them, and I got 8 for her that I need to still deliver to her. But really nifty, solid pieces of wood there. This is actually white board material, but we're just gonna use it anyway. So here we go. So as you can see, it is a little bit time consuming to get all of this on here, but it will be worth it in the end, I promise. So I'm just piecemealing it because it's easier than just trying to measure everything, and that's just painful. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this side and just continue on as I have. And in my opinion, the washi tape is what makes this project, to be honest with you. So I may have spaces like this. See where I don't have any right there? I may come in and put another piece there. We'll see. I'm not too concerned about that because I can always take my ink and just kind of ink over that and just make that look a lot better. So you can't even hardly tell. Let me get the ink out and see if that does make a difference there. Yeah, so you can't even tell. So I'm not, because this washi tape is pretty transparent. So we're gonna go that route. So I'm gonna finish up here. I'm gonna put the washi tape on the sides and then I will be back. Okay, we are just about done. Just trying to get this last little bit on. It's very hard. If you've done YouTube videos where you're doing really fiddly work, it is not easy. It's kind of stressful because you're worried about the time and you're worried about the angle and all of that stuff. But we are just friends, right? We are just friends creating together. So I got one more piece to put on the bottom and then we'll move on. Okie dokie. It's hard. This one's hard. This angle's hard because I have a pointy roof on my little house here. It's kind of challenging. So let's see if that works. Yeah, not a problem. Okay. So, and off camera, I'll probably make sure that the washi tape that's hanging over the back is not problematic. But look at that. That is just washi tape, you guys. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to put that aside and then we're going to go ahead and drop this in here. I am going to ink up the edges just in case they show, and I did notice that my house cut is off, and so we're going to have a little bit of white showing, but by the time we're done, you guys, this thing is going to be so full and so busy that we're not even going to notice. So it's going to go right there, and so I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac because I think it will work better on this whiteboard surface. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So as you're watching, I would like to encourage you to think about just one thing that you believe about yourself or that you tell yourself when you're mad at yourself or you're frustrated or you're disappointed. What is one thing that you tell yourself that you know is not true? So, you know, I know that I am overweight. That is a fact. That is a fact of life. But, oh my goodness, that is not going in there. That Fabri-Tac should let me move that. So we're a little bit shy on the bottom, but that's not going to show again. We're going to have so much in there that it's not going to matter. I wish I had some makeup, some little makeup thingies, you know, like the like eyeshadow things. I'm wondering if I can get some ink in there. Not really, but that's not going to really show. But anyway, if you could be thinking about one thing that you know that you tell yourself, and think about what is the truth about that. Is it the truth? Or is it just something that you believe because maybe it's an old message, you know, which is actually, if it's not true, that means it's a lie. And we have the power to let go of those lies and not believe them and pursue the truth about ourselves, and not you know, not lie to ourselves, basically. So as you can see, I'm going to be using this. Actually, I'm going to take a bit of this off because it's going to go under everything else, and then I'll have an opportunity to maybe use it someplace else if I decide to. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down with my my art glitter glue. And I'm not concerned about it showing through or anything because it's collage and there's going to be so many other layers that I'm not worried about it. So again, I'll be talking more over on the blog about some of my thoughts here about this process of identifying, you know, Brene Brown, she calls them gremlins, and I really like that. I like that phrase because it resonates with me. It makes sense to me. And, you know, we allow the gremlins to tell us who we are, and it's not necessarily the truth. So I'm just looking at my my picture I took and just making sure I've got everything in the order I want it. I am inking around my pages, whether they're going to show or not, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to start putting things on here. And this one I think I can go ahead and use the art glitter glue. There we go. Just going to slide that right in that corner. Hopefully that's going to help solve our problem. It is. I can already see it's covering up that white that we had at the bottom. That was down here. And so then we have, I don't have anything to cover up that though, so I'm almost inclined to find something to put there. Let me just see what I have that might work. Maybe just something like this, just to get that in there. And it's another tone that will, you know, always will add to a project. So I think we'll go ahead and put this in that little spot, just because I don't want to see that white of the that board that's underneath. I didn't place that very well, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue this on. So you guys, as you're watching this, you might be thinking, well, I don't have those things. I don't have those frames. Like, you know, what can I do? Well, you can do this on a journal page. You can do this on a piece of corrugated cardboard, which I do all the time. Oh, look at that. I love that. Happy mistake that we needed to put that there. So you can use pretty much anything that you want. So now I'm just thinking about the order of everything else. So I have this little, this is one of those pieces that I just did in a video where we did a bunch of embossing on different materials, different surfaces, and I believe that this is the glassine paper. I'm pretty sure this is the glassine paper, so I just tore up a bit of it, and I'm just going to place it up here, and I'm going to hope that I've got it in the right general area, that it's going to fit. So I always do my layout, and then I pull everything off, and then keep them in the order that I have them, that I want them laid out in, but then I can just refer to my photo, so it works out pretty well. There we go. Beautiful. And then I have this piece of paper, which is another piece of that coffee dyed paper from my stash. I'm just going to ink that up as well. I don't want that white edge. Sometimes I want it. Sometimes I want those kind of, you know, kind of rough edges that you get when you tear it towards you. I know that you can tear it away from you and not get that white, but I like the white usually, so we're going to go ahead and put this here. And again, I am looking at my picture, so let me show you it here just in a second so you guys know what I'm actually looking at here. Let me just see where we want that. Probably about right there. So this is the picture that I took, just kind of a general layout. So, and then, oh, I did have this gold tissue that I wanted to use. So let me, it's not represented in my layers here in my photo. So let me see where I would like that to be. I wonder if I could kind of put it up here. No, that's not going to disguise the white up there. How about if we just put it right here? Why not? I am going to try to ink it a little bit, just to take some of that sharp light color away. As you know, I love the grungy look, and I'm just going to try to ink it all the way around because some of this is going to show. Okay, and then I'm just going to put some glue on the back of it very gently because this is tissue paper, just like tissue paper that you use to wrap presents. So let's see where we can get that in there. Let's just put it right there. It fell right there, so let's just go with it. So I'm just using my art glitter glue, guys. But I love this because look at, you can see that layer underneath, which I think is the epic part of this kind of collage. Really, really beautiful. So now we have, I've got a bit of a doily, or not a doily, this was a die cut, and I just thought, wow, I would go ahead and use it here. But I want to ink up my girl first and get her where I want her, because she's going to sit on top of this piece of die cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not using this side, I'm using the other side, the more white side. I'm just going to ink that up. And we only need to ink that bit because that's all that's going to show. And I just kind of want to set her on there because I don't want any of those ends sticking out. So that's the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, and I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of glue here. So this kind of this is still mixed media, it's just more of a dry mixed media. So this would be a great way for you guys to play if you guys are wanting to learn how to play a little bit more with mixed media. This is a great place to start. So I'm going to just trim off that little edge because I can see a little bit of that die cut on the ends here. Oops. Got a little bit of that picture. So now before we put these on, I want to see if we want any of our textiles under that. So I've got this beautiful, this is from a scarf, and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I think it would be pretty in here with some really good contrast. So I'm going to actually grab my fabric scissors here. All my other scissors are sticky. I need to tend to those this weekend and see if I can clean them up. So I'm just going to cut a bit of that off, and let's see if we want to put some under here. It might be a little bit too bold. I don't think so though. I think it's a good, I don't know. Let's see what we've got. We've also got this piece, which I think would be really pretty on this side of her. So let's do that. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. This part I'm winging. I didn't think about the textiles or how I wanted to add the three-dimensional elements. So, and typically you would want to seal this with matte medium or some kind of sealant. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it a straight up paper crafting kind of thing. Oh, was that my Fabri-Tac? Was it? I'm just about to the end of this bottle, so she's not coming out very well, very cooperatively. So I think I'm going to put a little piece of this on here. This is one of my favorite laces. She's going to stick over pretty far, so I don't want to go too far out. And I've tried to line up these edges with the, so they're even. I hope that makes sense, from side to side. So I'm just going to press that down with my paper towel, like so. Let's see if she's even on the other side. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to use my sticky scissors because I don't want to get any glue on my sewing scissors. Just going to trim that off. And then I like to bring in that lace again because it helps tie the whole layout together. So we're going to, oh, that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it already. I love it already. I'm perplexed about this though. I'm going to get up for a second and I'm going to see if I can find something that I can get in and cover up that white. Hold on. Easily solved. This is a little brush that I have for my pan pastels. So I'm hoping that I can get enough ink on here to affect that. So let's try it. I don't know if it's going to work. It's not going to work. Ugh. Okay. That's a bummer. We have to solve that problem. So it looks like we're probably going to have to put something up there. So let me see if I've got some other paper that we can play around with here. Pardon me, guys. There's another piece of that paper. Maybe that would be a good option. Just put a little piece of that along that edge. I'm going to have a straight edge to do that though. So let's go ahead and make a straight edge. And see if that's going to look weird. It might look a little bit weird, but we're going to do it. So I'm just going to kind of use my fingernail there to press that in so I can see where I need to cut that off. Hopefully, yep, that worked. Awesome. I'm just going to clip that off. We're going to ink this up. I'll probably pick a different paper for the other edge so that they're not samey, if you know what I mean. So that should solve that problem. So let's get this in there. Whoops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So I ordered glue pens from a seller on Etsy because I'm always throwing my pens away. So I'm hoping I have better success this time. The last time I bought them, I was very disappointed. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can clear this. Now, her directions said to be sure that you don't use this to really try to force out dried glue. So, and that might have been my error with my other pen, glue pen. So there we go. We're going to set that there and just get it right up and cover up all that nasty white. That worked out pretty darn good. Need to get a little bit more under this corner. I can see my tip wants to come off. Come on. There we go. So let's find something else for the other side. I'm going to try to find another piece of this paper, but I think I tossed. Oh, it's right there. Beautiful. Get a little bit of that in there. It kind of makes that corner look kind of cool anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. Something different. I don't need it to be that wide though. Just need it to be kind of narrow and funky. Oh, I like things to look torn and rough. So let's see what that looks like. Good solution, Cara-Renee. Where there's a will, there's a way, as I always say. You can figure it out. Sometimes if you've got really strong, perfectionistic tendencies, it can be hard to improvise like that and feel good about it. But I love this so far. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So we want to put some more textiles down before we put her down. So we've got that, and then I've got this little pink, got a little piece of pink. I've got this bigger piece, which I think is way too much, so I didn't know what I was really going to do. And I've got this rose that I was thinking about getting in there. It's pretty big, but I think it's pretty. And then we have this pink fabric, which would actually be kind of cool here too. Whoops, just dropped my girl. Hold on. Rescue, rescue. Let's see what it would look like behind her a little bit. The layers are everything in this kind of project, you guys. I feel like that is just not gonna suit me. I have a piece of this. This is one of my favorite laces, and so that is something that could go along the bottom. Or I've also got some white. Some white would be a really good contrast too. I kind of like that. Just to put that along the bottom there. Give her something to, I love that. I love the grunge of that. So I think we're going to go with that, and I think maybe we'll put a piece of this other stuff on top. I've got some that's been already cut down. So this piece where I cut off one side for another project, so I think I'm going to trim this one off a little bit and use a piece of it. I love that. I love that little touch. But do you guys think, I wish you could tell me what you think, if you think the pink would be better. I think we've got a lot of pink going on, and I think the white would be a really good, complement here. Just that kind of rough edge there. Like that. I don't know though. You have those moments, you guys, where you're like, I don't know. Seems like a good idea at the time, but I don't know. Let's see what else we've got here. Darn it. Oh, you know what? We could go in with a piece of this. I've got this in bigger. It's the same lace, only bigger. So let me get some of that out of my drawer. Hold on. That's just a scrap. This is the same lace in a cream, which I think wouldn't be as stark as the white. So let's get, oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. That is the answer. Don't you love it when that happens and you're like, ah, score, that's exactly what I want. So I'm just gonna, I'm trying to make one, at least one good straight edge there. And then I'm gonna figure out how I can measure this out. Okay, thanks for letting me do that, you guys. There we go. I like that. It just feels right to me, so we're gonna go with it. I also have a flower, so we'll see if we have room for this flower in there. We'll see. So let's go ahead and glue this down. And I want the whole thing. I want the whole width of it, or height of it, rather. So you guys might be wondering why we're covering all this paper up. Well, that is the nature of collage. Is you do cover some stuff up sometimes, and that's okay. So let's just set that baby in there and just get her situated. Okay, here's my paper towel. Give that a pat down. Make sure that the important parts are sticking. Okay. And I love that. I love it. It's fun, you guys. I think we need to get a little bit of glue in here though, because that's sticking up. Sorry, that was off camera, you guys. I'm in the zone. In the zone. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to kind of play around with what else we want here. I like her like that. And then I just want to see if I want that flower. I think I do want the flower because I love that peeking through, all the stuff underneath peeking through is really lovely. So I have a few more other elements that we're going to use, but let's go ahead and put our girl down. I think I feel pretty good about her being done. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac here. And I'm trying to decide about how to do I think I'll just put some glue on the very outer edges of this die cut. And then I got to get some glue down here on the edges of this lace. And here we go. Beautiful, beautiful lady, you beautiful lady. You are so perfect just the way you are. You are perfect the way you are. Okay? Tell yourself the truth, you guys. When we say that, it doesn't mean we don't have things we need to correct and be better at, and we need to get healthy and we need to do all that stuff, but we are beautiful. Okay, so we have that flower. I also have this key that I'd like to use, so I thought the key could go somewhere, like maybe, oh, that would be beautiful down there, wouldn't it? And then I also have a button that I wanted to use, and then I have these flowers. So I'm thinking if I use the rose, the flowers might be a little much. What do you think? They're actually quite a great, beautiful contrast though. I like that. I think I want to cut them down because I don't want them to go where the key is going to go. So let me go ahead and just trim that right there. Not with my sewing scissors, because this is, I think that has wire in it. So this way, yep, that way. So let's do it. Let's not overthink it, okay? As I say to myself, Cara-Renee, don't overthink it. Just do it. So if you're just trying this, I would suggest you kind of pre-select what you want to use, so that you don't get stumped and feel completely lost trying to figure out what you want to do. So we're going to put this right up there so that it's on the edge of that, the bottom of that lace, and then we're going to push this down again with my paper towel. I like how it's coming into her picture. I think that's really, really beautiful. And then I also have a butterfly. I like to put butterflies in my projects, but I'm trying to think about where I'd like the butterfly to go. That is actually quite pretty right there, or maybe up here. Yep. So this is one of those washi sticker ones. So I'm hoping that it doesn't give me fits because my fingers are glue covered here. Probably just not getting it right in the, there we go. I just didn't have it in the right places. They're sticking everywhere. So I'm going to put this butterfly right up here, kind of by her head, her face. I love that. She is so gorgeous. And I think I'd like that gold button right there beside her. That's a perfect place. So I'm hoping that I might actually get my E6000, guys, because that's metal and it's an antique button. So let me see if I've got some E6000 that's not all fogged up and empty. I like to buy them in the little tubes because they don't store, it doesn't store very well for me, so, and I don't use it very often. So we're going to go ahead and put some E6000 on this button on the back. Come on. It's kind of dried up. Let me see if I can squish that. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. There we go. That should work. So we're going to put that on there. It does take a little bit of time to set, but we don't have any reason to move this, so I think it's going to be okay. This is our first beloved beauty, and I love her so much. And I forgot I also had these, but I think we've got enough going on here that we won't use this little arrow thingy or whatever that's called. But we are going to use this, but I am going to use glue too, because these don't tend to be super sticky, so I'm going to poke out. Let me get my pokey tool. Poke out those extra bits. These I just got at the Dollar Tree, you guys. I went and this artist friend of mine, she had them at her workshop, and I was like, they were just so beautiful. But I always think of the dollar store stuff as being so kind of cheesy. But I think these are awesome in a project. Like, looking at them, they look all plasticky, but in a project like this, you can't even tell. It's just gorgeous. So I'm having trouble with this one though. Well, let's just let that one be. Unless I can poke it from the other side. Can we? Can't even tell what's supposed to poke through. Okay. I think I'm good with that. Oh, there we go. Is this what you get for $1.25? I keep going back hoping that I'll find some other cool ones, but no luck. I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to fuss with it. And that's going to go right here at the bottom. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, should be fine. And I'm just going to try to get a bunch of it on the solid parts here. And then we will put our words on, and then we will be done. So, oh, you know what? It's a heart. I don't want it to go sideways. Oh, man. Well, it's going to go sideways because I don't have any other place for it. Right? Yeah, it's going to have to. I didn't plan that very well. It's okay. We're just going to put her right down here below the picture. Kind of on that lace. And just give it a push here. And then we've got words. Just a little bit of words. Where did they go? So we have, and these are another thing that I got at the Dollar Tree. But I decided that was too much in this project. But we will use it another time. So I just thought these up and printed them out on some cards, craft cardstock. She decided to be herself. That is our sentiment for today's Sunday's Art of Truth. So again, guys, if you want to check out the inspiration, you can head on over to the blog. A link to the blog is in the description box. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.